Topping today's news, the Prime Minister set to meet with banks over increasing fees. The F&M chairman dispels rumors of nomination snubs, and the new $290 million hospital gets an environmental approval. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News, and it is a pleasure to have you join us. According to Keishla Adderley, the press secretary in the office of the Prime Minister Philip Davis is set to meet with local banks and other stakeholders, including the Central Bank of the Bahamas, which is the regulator, to discuss increased fees and the perceived declining level of customer services. Ms. Adderley revealed as much today while at the weekly press briefing at the office of the Prime Minister. She said the Prime Minister will meet with the banks as well as other stakeholders.
Firstly, the Prime Minister has noted with interest the very vigorous debate that's been raging concerning banking fees and whether or not they are justified. On the one hand, there is the retail banking sector, which is continuing to make a case for preserving free enterprise and ensuring that competition is maintained. On the other hand, of course, there are consumers who are questioning whether these fees are justified. Now, the Prime Minister plans in the coming days or the coming weeks, sometime very soon, to sit down with both sides, sit down with regulators to get a sense of where things stand and to try to come to a happy medium.
Mrs. Adderley also spoke to the concerns expressed in recent times by the Bahamas Contractors Association in regards to the large number of foreign workers in the industry, as well as the low level of skills coming out of high school between Bahamians who are entering the construction phase, but they don't have the skills to be on the job.
I also want to say to the concerns of the Bahamas Contractors Association, they have, of course, been airing their concerns about the status of their industry, who is allowed to participate in it, under what terms, and, of course, what that ultimately means for consumers and the quality of construction in the country. The Prime Minister also plans to meet with them soon. As you know, there is legislation in place to regulate the construction industry. However, we are still awaiting a board to be put together, which will deal with the day-to-day regulation of the industry. And that is something that the government will put some more urgent energy behind so that we can get that going.
According to Ms. Adderley, the government plans to put some more energy into developing the Contractors Board, which has not yet been verified. After carrying out its assessment, the Ministry of Environmental Health has given the Ministry of Health and Wellness the approval it needs to continue with plans to build a new state-of-the-art $290 million hospital on the New Providence Highway, just north of the Rock Crusher subdivision. According to the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Dovel, the government is in the final stages with the Chinese Exim Bank to secure the necessary funding, with groundbreaking expected within this year. Now, there has been some pushback to the idea of the hospital being built in the planned location by area residents and environmentalists who express concerns about the well fields and noise pollution. Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has also questioned whether the $290 million is enough to build a proper hospital. He says when he was the Minister of Health under the Hubert Ingram administration, the projection was $600 million. And finally, in this segment, during a press conference following the opening of a training facilitated by the USDA, the Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources, Jomo Campbell, provided the media with an update on the progress made since the marijuana bill was passed. Here is what he had to say.
Well, as it stands right now, our land unit is currently undergoing a land audit where we are trying to, well, not trying, we are trying to secure approximately 25 acres of land for persons who want to apply for. I met yesterday with the Minister of Health, along with the Attorney General, and we will be meeting again in the very near future to secure the tie of those efforts as it relates to the authority.
Minister Campbell was also asked if they had heard anything from the Rastafarian community after some outrage was expressed by the Rastafarians.
Personally, our ministry, no, but I'm aware that other ministries, in particular the Office of the Attorney General, has, yes. And I think that the Attorney General may be speaking on that a bit later this week. And we still want to make sure that we address some of the concerns. I'm sure you all remember all of the remarks that was in the press and the dailies after the bill was debated in Parliament and through the Senate. So as we have the opportunity to iron out some of those wrinkles, we want to take full advantage of it. So when we produce this to the Bahamian public, it's the best product that it could possibly be.
You're listening to JCN News. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.